Our trip across the storied U.S. Highway 36 in Missouri begins at the western end in St. Joseph. St. Joe is the 8th largest city in Missouri and is linked to many widely known historic icons. These include the Pony Express, founded in 1860 as the quickest and most direct way to relay mail across Indian Territory to California, the unique Glore Psychiatric Museum, plus the residence where the infamous outlaw Jesse James was murdered, and Walter Cronkite's birth and childhood years. As a war correspondent, radio and TV journalist, and eventual anchor of the CBS Evening News, Walter Cronkite covered many of the major news events of the 20th century, from World War II and JFK's assassination to the first moon landing and beyond. His journalistic integrity led him to be proclaimed the most trusted man in America. Learn more about this man from St. Joe at the Walter Cronkite Memorial on the campus of Missouri Western State University. East of St. Joe on Highway 36 is Hamilton, Missouri, a city that tells the story of a famous rags-to-riches entrepreneur who was born here, started his first business here, and became one of the greatest retail chain geniuses in history. James Cash Penney, known to all as J.C. Penney, was born in Hamilton in 1875, only 20 years after the founding of the town. A museum honoring the man and his contributions to revolutionizing retailing is right off Highway 36. Continuing east, at the intersection of U.S. Highways 36 and 65, is Chillicothe, Missouri, which was also incorporated in 1855. Chillicothe is a Shawnee Indian word meaning big town where we live. Art brings history alive in Chillicothe as more than 20 larger-than-life murals brighten the historic downtown district. One of the most popular murals announces Chillicothe as the home of sliced bread. We've all heard the phrase, the greatest thing since sliced bread. Well, it all started in Chillicothe when the Chillicothe Baking Company took a chance on a young inventor named Otto Rovider, who invented the sliced bread machine. He teamed up with Chillicothe baker Frank Bench to sell this new idea on his wholesale bakery shelves and to the local grocery stores he supplied. Who can imagine life today without sliced bread? Down the road a bit further is Laclede, where you will see a glimpse of Missouri's extraordinary military contributions to the country. General John J. Pershing, America's only six-star general, moved to Laclede at the age of 6 and lived in Missouri until he left for West Point in 1882 at the age of 21. General Pershing, nicknamed Blackjack, mentored the generation of Army generals who led the World War II campaigns in Europe, including Dwight Eisenhower, fellow Missourian Omar Bradley, George Patton, and George Marshall. In Laclede, take a guided tour through the two-story house where Pershing spent his formative years. Next door at the side office, you can see paintings, photos, exhibits, and a 30-minute video on Pershing's important role in World War I. Just ahead is the town of Marceline, the boyhood home of one of the most famous visionaries in entertainment history. For Walt Disney, Marceline served as the inspiration to his lifetime of noteworthy accomplishments. He arrived here from Chicago when he was 4 years old and left for Kansas City when he was 9. But it was in those 5 years he discovered his love of drawing. In fact, Walt's original drawing of Main Street, USA for Disneyland was inspired by images from Marceline. Walt even recreated the Marceline barn at his home in California and used it as his personal workshop. Today, when visiting the Disney farm, you'll find his Dreaming Tree and a restoration of his family barn known as Walt's Happy Place. At the intersection of Highways 36 and 63 is Macon, a community that helped revolutionize the way we communicate. Macon was the first community to offer rotary telephones to its residents, thanks to native telephone tycoon Theodore Gary. Mr. Gary purchased the Macon Telephone Exchange in 1897. His company flourished and merged with other telephone businesses over the years, and today is a part of Verizon. Mr. Gary was also the first highway commissioner in Missouri. To the north of Macon is Kirksville, the home of Andrew Taylor Still, the founding physician of osteopathic medicine and the American School of Osteopathy. In the 1860s, an epidemic of spinal meningitis took the lives of 3 of Still's children. His inability to save his family, coupled with his grim experiences as a Civil War doctor, led him to reject most of what he had learned about medicine, and he began a search for new methods of treatment. In 1885, Dr. Still's methods began to be called osteopathy. Soon afterward, so many people traveled to Kirksville seeking osteopathic treatment that the Wabash Railroad had to increase the number of daily passenger trains to Kirksville. Travel south from Kirksville toward the community of Florida, Missouri, and you will find the birthplace of one of America's most well-known humorists and writers. Samuel Langhorne Clemens, known to the world as Mark Twain, was born in Florida in a small log cabin that today is an official Missouri State Historic Site, dedicated to preserving the author's legacy. But Twain is perhaps best known, and most often connected to, Hannibal, where his family moved when Twain was just 4 years old. Hannibal is the last city along our tour of historic Missouri Highway 36 and features many Twain-focused attractions, including the Mark Twain Boyhood Home and Museum and the Mark Twain Cave. Many languages can be heard on the streets of Hannibal today, as visitors from all over the world come to see the Mark Twain home and Tom Sawyer's famous whitewashed fence. U.S. Highway 36 is a passage through a wide range of far-reaching historical achievements, of which Missourians are very proud. Take a day or an entire weekend to meet some of the Missourians who helped change the world in dramatic ways and create lasting memories for yourself and your family. They're all on your way across Missouri on U.S. Highway 36.